Welcome everyone to sportsbookreview.com. I'm Flash, and today I'm so privileged, and so are you at home, because I have the chairman of League One perennial entertainers, Peterborough United. We're going to find out how and why this individual would get involved in being a chairman of a professional football club, the highs and lows of being a chairman, how he has the bravery to press a button and bring players out of the non-league, and more often than not, turn them into absolute diamonds and sell them on for a profit. And obviously, we're also going to be talking about the coronavirus right at the very end, and how the preparation of a chairman keeps his club sane. Darragh MacAnthony, how are you, sir? And I'll open it up by, you were the youngest football chairman, aged just 30, just to cheer you up.
Long time ago. Feels like decades and decades ago. Great to be here, Flash. Great to be with you. Great to talk about football in the current environment. It's just a nice distraction. So this for me is fun. Absolute fun.
How and why did you get involved?
I officially bought the club when I was 30, but I was doing the deal when I was 29. And you do mad things in your 20s. And buying a football club for me was obviously one of those mad things. I was doing really well in property, in business. Every year I'd make a target list of things I want to acquire, whether it be a nice car, a nice house, a new girlfriend. This was before I got married. And I decided I was going to basically, buy a football club. Big football fan, living in Spain, Liverpool fan, couldn't afford Liverpool. So I thought, well, let's go down the lower leagues and have some fun with it. And that's when it all began and when it all started. And for some mad reason, I'm still here 14 years later.
Yeah, I mean, that's the crazy thing that people don't really realise is 14 years as a chairman, trying to do the deal at 29, taking over at 30. But the highs and lows, let me take you back a little bit and give me some of your highs.
The high would be signing the deal to buy the club. Your first couple of games, acclimatising yourself with an industry, nothing about. And there's no other industry like football, that's for sure. Big high would be hiring Darren Ferguson, putting the plan in place, the analytics plan I always had in my mind, and seeing it come to fruition by winning in our first full season, winning promotion from League Two. I think we came second. And then obviously the next high would be going back to back. We won promotion the following year from League One. And then a massive high would be winning another promotion at Old Trafford. We obviously got promoted from League One again. And then obviously, I think it was like 7 years ago or 6 years ago, we won our version of the FA Cup for lower leagues. We went to Wembley, 40,000 people. We won the Paint Cup, the Johnson's Paint Cup. So there's been some tremendous highs, but with football, because it's an emotional roller coaster, geez, I've been kicked in the cojones with some major lows as well. So there's no other industry like it. If you can afford to be in it, if you've got a strong stomach, and everyone wants to own a football club, they all play Football Manager and whatever else. If you can do it, there's no better feeling in the world. So, I've loved it, the highs and lows.
I suppose some of the massive highs and lows also coming in, getting players and not paying over the odds. And obviously, that my background was also obviously a player. Then I became on the scouting side, which is very frustrating. But you and your team seem to go and find them rough diamonds out of non-league, bring them into your team. They do extraordinarily well. And then you sell them at a profit.
Yeah. One of the things maybe I should give myself more credit for was in my 20s, I was very analytics based in my business. When it was in real estate, everything was statistics, sales, the analytics day to day, hour by hour, month by month. I brought an analytics approach into football. I looked at what I could do for a club like Peterborough. When I bought them, they had 30 players who were over the age of 29. They had like months left on their contract. There was no big asset base. And the only way to sustain a football club with crowds of 2,000 and 3,000 at the time was to put in place a transfer policy that would possibly help get to the self-sustainable point, get them through the leagues. So I came up with the young and hungry policy, polish the gems from non-league policy. No one was doing it. Long before Brentford and co started doing it and got all the headlines for it, I was doing it. And I brought it in at Peterborough, and it was very successful early on. And it became more and more difficult as the years went by because people saw the success we had, started to emulate it, bigger clubs with more money, offering championship football. And that made it very difficult for us. But to give you an example, over here on my desk, I've got a load of paperwork now. I'll just show you. And this is me the last 2 weeks in isolation. Analytics, players, you wouldn't believe the information I have here. planning for when this season finishes, next season and the season beyond. So it takes up a large part of my life doing what we do.
Yeah, but again, that comes down to the preparation. I know that when I was scouting, I was looking for players in 18 months, 2 years' time. We were thinking to ourselves, okay, we're in the Championship. We want to get to the Premier League. So if we're going to get to the Premier League, we're going to need Premier League players when we get there. It's no good going somewhere and then going, oh, hang on a minute, we now need to look around for these players. So preparation is absolutely everything. But the attractive side of Peterborough, that not a lot of people know, is you don't get involved in many 0-0 draws.
No, a big part of my philosophy and the strategy with this analytics-based policy was we have to entertain, we have to score goals. There's more emphasis on attack than defence. That's probably gone against us a few times. But for us to get the headlines, for us to garner the attention of the media, the people out there, to put that spotlight on our players, and you always know selling an attacker, you usually get more money than a defender. So that was part of my analytics as well. Now, that's improved over time, and this season, I think we have the joint most clean sheets in the Football League. So as well as being the leading goal scorers, we're now finding we can get it both ways right. But yeah, we like to entertain. We like to have that reputation. I think we've scored 68 league goals this year, more than any other club in the 4 divisions. And that's great because that's who we are. We like to be the entertainers, but with entertainment has to come reality. And that means it's no good entertaining unless you're following it up with a promotion or being involved in a playoff race. So that's really, really important, getting both sides right.
Yeah, and the other thing is being so attractive to the young rough diamond coming out of non-league because they're so raw. All they want to do is score goals, or all they want to do is playing games that are maybe 5-3, 5-2. And when you have to try and curb it, you can't curb it too much that you're going to lose what's going to then become valuable to the football club.
Yeah, and I guess to describe it would be like you look at 2 scenarios. If you win a game 1-0, it's great, you get your 3 points. If you win a game 5-4, you get your 3 points, but you also get maybe one of your strikers scoring a hat-trick, which adds value to that player just in one game. So if you look at it from that mentality, that was always something I looked at too. And for the non-league players, we call them, I've got on my list here, yes, we call them gems, but I also have what's called, and I know this sounds probably wrong to say it, a runt list. And these would be players that have been discarded, thrown away down the leagues. They're now seen as runts. They might be high maintenance. They might have issues off the pitch. They're age 18 to 20. Usually that's the time we like to get them because you can then help them mature and improve. And I have right now for plan A, B, C, 3 runts on each list. So we would put our squad together and we would take a punt on 2 or 3 runts, gems per se. I hate using the word runt. And we would take a punt on them. And then you would expect 1 out of the 3 runts, gems, to come good. And that's the statistical analysis on it.
Yeah, it's funny you say A, B, C, because that was mine when I was scouting coordinator at Leicester. I had A, sign him now. B, monitor. C, not good enough. And the amount of scouts that I had that kept coming back with B's, monitor. No, press the button, get off the fence, and who are we going to sign now? And then if you get someone like that and you have an A, it does catch your eye, and then 9 times out of 10 you are right because someone is happy to put their reputation on the line. Darragh, we talk about preparation. You prepared your football club more than 2 weeks ago by having the foresight of what was going to happen with the current situation. Talk me through it, please.
Yeah, obviously with everything going on, I've been in Dubai. I got back from Dubai to the States about 2.5 weeks ago. I could see what was going on, obviously, as best we could from the news with the virus. And I just knew that football could be a couple of months away, if not longer. And I knew financially that was going to be horrific. We're at a point where we're selling season tickets. A lot of our budget is heavy-ended this side of the season where we expect £1 million over March and April and May. That income's paramount to our survival. Yes, me and my partners are well off, not maybe as well off now anymore because of what's happened with the markets, but we want to make sure that the club comes through this, comes through the other side. So on a Sunday, I didn't even tell anyone. I contacted the manager and said, look, I need to have a hard conversation with you. We've got over 200 employees at the football club. The 30 players are the heaviest hitter employees. We need to make sure the club's still here in June, and we need to be able to bounce back and get on with our promotion run when life resumes. Can you have a conversation with all the players? Can you float to them the idea that I might need to defer 50% of their wages? It's not a paid cut, it's a pay deferment. Football creditors always get paid. So there's no fear they're going to not get their money. They also, as the manager told me, could freeze their mortgage payments for 3 or 4 months. So, okay, great. Well, that means if we're, pay freezing half their wages, they can still afford to live, they can still afford to self-isolate, and they can still afford to keep their lights on at home. So could you put it across the players? They're still going to get paid for March. I'm not saying they're not going to get paid in April and May, but I just wanted to know where they're coming from on hearing me out. It came back really, really well. 90% could understand. They were on board. I was planting the seeds, Flash, for a tougher conversation maybe we might need to do. And I think it was really important. And of course, now you've seen it explode with PFA, Spurs, Newcastle, all the headlines. And this is the time now footballers can lead from the front and look really good. Or this is the time footballers can play to that stereotype of being greedy Flash gets, so to speak. So we need them to take one major decision and agree to cuts.
Yeah, and it's the thing that a lot of people do forget about is because they see the players and they see the management and the backroom staff. They don't see the fundamentals and the platform that the whole football club's built on. It's them people that go in there and work 24/7, even put in more hours than they get paid for, and they're the people that can't really afford to have any sort of downtime in their payment.
No. We got players, we got great people in our club. We got people on 12 grand a year, 18 grand a year, 22 grand a year, 28 grand a year, depending on the different structure, the different level. And then you got footballers on 400 grand a year. So, you know, for me, everyone's equal at our football club. Yes, the players are the main assets that go out and provide the entertainment, but you have to look at it across the board as a club. You don't want to lose anybody. Not through this kind of crisis. We want to make sure that when our first game back happens, everybody that was with us before this broke out is still with us, God willing, and ready to watch their team in action. And from the guy who cuts the grass, from the person who's the electrician, from the person in the shop to the star striker. So if we all have to dive in together to help each other through it, that's what we're going to do. What I'm trying to say to our players and everyone involved, whether you're furloughed, whether a player takes a pay deferral, we'll get it back, you'll get it back, and we will come through it. But if we don't come together, make some really sensible, intelligent decisions, well, then you won't have a football club. And that's what's going to happen with lots of football clubs. So everyone needs to be really responsible in this thought trail and do it for the right reasons. Now, for people out there who are taking this opportunity to cut and run, get rid of employees because they've maybe felt they're not doing well as a business, shame on them. Now's not the time to be trying to take advantage of the situation. We've got to just make the right decisions for the right reasons.
Yeah, I can't agree more. And the other thing is the togetherness that you're now showing is going to hold you in great stead. And if there's people out there who didn't know about Peterborough United, I'm sure at the end of this, they're going to be like, they're going to become our number 2 team in the UK because of the chairman, because of the entertainment, because of their philosophy. And number 1 for me is the morality of the football club. It is togetherness. And I'm just so privileged. And I love the preparation on the footballing side, on the thought process that goes behind it. And then listen, I might even let you finish up with the prepare to failure.
Listen, you know, failure for me is not a word. It's not an option. It's not something. Look, we say it all the time, and I'll say it again. You know, you have to fail to succeed. You know, you have to make mistakes to become not perfect, but as good as you can be. And show me anybody who's never failed in their life, I'm going to call them a liar. Because we're all humans and we all make mistakes and we have those little failures and we keep them up here. And it's important to keep them up there because my favorite saying in life is never make the same mistake twice. You can make it once, don't make it twice. If you make it twice, for me, that's on you. So right now what I'm trying to do is with my partners, I'm trying to prepare for when life resumes, when football gets back, whether it's behind closed doors, with people with masks, whatever it might be, we're going to come out of this. And I want to make sure my club's got the best opportunity with those 9 games left to win promotion to the championship, because that for our fans, after all of this crap we've gone through, for people losing their lives, would be the greatest gift of all. It would be the greatest gift for our employees as well, because right now, we've got people at home who are anxious. We've got people who are frightened. We've got people who are down. They're watching the news. I'm human. I see it. I feel it. And you know what? All I can think about is positive thoughts in my mind when I get to go to a game, when I get to see my team playing again, because I will, and we will, and it will happen. As crap as the news is out there, when we get back, we all have to be prepared to get back to the business and back to normal, because life will go on.
Listen, and I suppose that's everything that your club stands for, the positivity, the togetherness and the hunger to achieve. And listen, if you wasn't in football, then I would certainly vote for you on in the politics. But listen, it's been an absolute privilege. I love it. I hope that next, as soon as you get back playing, it starts with Peterborough 5, and we don't care what the others, as long as it's under 5. Listen, it's been an absolute privilege. Darragh MacAnthony, you are an absolute star, and I wish you all the very, very best.
Bless you all, Flash, and to your listeners as well. Take care and be safe.
Okay, so that's Darragh MacAnthony, chairman since the age of 30, did the job at 29, and he's still going strong. And he's going strong because of his belief, his positivity, and not making the same mistake twice. If you like this video, press the subscribe button, ring the bell, and we'll have plenty more coming your way. You take care, and I'll see you soon.